Okay, so I found this movie on a streaming platform called Eternal Family. And before I get into the review, I kind of just wanted to talk about them for a little bit because they are certainly new to me anyway. I'm not sure if other people know about them, but I'm fairly certain that there are just a lot of people out there just like me who had never heard of them and would probably really enjoy their stuff. So I'm going to talk about them for a little bit. Eternal Family is a streaming service that largely specializes in lost and obscure media from all around the world. I would say a lot of it is B-movies, and a lot of it is stuff that kind of survives on sort of an eye candy factor, and a lot of it has like really great practical effects. But there's also plenty of other stuff as well. I recently watched a documentary on there about Brian Wilson, and I thought that was pretty good. And even the movie that we're talking about today is, at least in part, it is a crime drama. So yeah, there's a lot of variety is what I'm saying. So if you are somebody who just kind of likes some of the more weird and wild stuff that is out there, then you will probably like the stuff that is on Eternal Family. And that's really all I wanted to say about it. I just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out because I've really been enjoying their service. But that's all I gotta say. I hope you enjoy the review, and I hope you're doing well. And we will get on with it now. Drowning by Numbers is a black comedy / crime drama from the 80s. It's a British movie, and basically it is about 3 generations of women. There is a mother, and then there's her daughter, and then there's her daughter's daughter. And pretty much the 3 of them have just decided that they're going to kill all the men in their lives. It's a movie about unbridled misandry, pretty much. And, a lot of men are going to die in this movie. And when I say that, I don't mean to spoil anything for you, but just trust me that, within the first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, it is just pretty clear the direction that it is going. To me, this movie kind of feels like a nightmare. And I'm not saying that because I'm a man, okay? I'm saying that because everything in this movie is just very unsettling. It's not like there's monsters and demons running around, but it does often feel like this dark fantasy dream world. I also might describe this movie as kind of like an X-rated fairy tale, because the whole thing's got this kind of nursery rhyme quality to it, but instead of being bright and cheerful like you would usually expect from a nursery rhyme, it's actually just very cutthroat and very nasty. There's also a gamified element to this movie that I find very fascinating, and I think I'm just going to show you what I mean by that instead of trying to describe it, because I think that's just going to be a little bit easier. But basically, the movie does this thing where it's counting up from 1 to 100, and they hide each one of the numbers within the different scenes of the movie. So it's kind of like playing a game of I Spy as you watch through this thing. You naturally just want to catch every single one of the numbers as they go by. I'd also say this movie is stylized more like a stage play than it is a movie sometimes, because as you watch it, you can kind of tell that everything's been very meticulously coordinated, And they also don't use a whole lot of camera tricks or special effects to make things look more believable. It's kind of like when you're watching a play and you can just very easily tell what's fake, you know what I mean? Like, you can see the murder weapon as a prop, and you can see that the blood is just red handkerchiefs and things like that. And I think that element just kind of helps to take away from some of the harshness in this movie, and it makes it a little easier to digest. It's also got just like a really great soundtrack, and I'm not really sure what else I should say about the soundtrack other than I just think it is very beautiful. Okay, it's got this really tense like violins, and everything just kind of ebbs and flows with the movie very well. Honestly, I would just say this is a wildly entertaining movie, and I would highly recommend it. It's not a movie that I would say has a lot going on under the surface, and it's also not a movie that has given me a lot to think about or anything like that. But what I really loved about it is really just that it was such a fun ride. I'm very excited to keep watching stuff on Eternal Family, and actually I have been watching a bunch more stuff on there, so you might hear me talk about some of the movies that I find on there in the near future. But until then, that is the review, and I will see you later.